is a new medical movement called autoimmune healing, meaning you can adapt certain diets and lifestyle changes along with supportive medical strategies to reduce inflammation and address the underlying triggers of autoimmune conditions. Joining me now is board-certified physician in Emergency and Integrative Medicine and the author of the Perimenopause Reset, 28 days to energize your body, shed weight, and find peace with God. Dr. Jen Pfleghaar, welcome to Bloom.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
So how do we start this reset? Because I think so many women, especially, I believe a statistic is 80% have some kind of autoimmune issue. Many don't even know it, but it's left them feeling sick and tired.
Yes, and they don't feel like themselves anymore. And a lot of the times they go to their doctor, their conventional medicine doctor, for help with autoimmune diseases, and they are told that they can't do anything. And that's just not true at all.
Yeah, I was one of those women that was going to conventional medicine doctors, and all that happened was the prescription rate just kept getting higher and higher and higher, and I still felt absolutely terrible. So it did take me going out of pocket to an integrative medicine doctor to find out what was really wrong. So is there a common thread making us sick?
Yes, there is. A lot of autoimmune diseases begin in the gut, most of them. 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And I see a lot with women in perimenopause that the rates of autoimmunity really climb here because they're having a lot of hormone changes, which is affecting their diet, their sleep, and their cortisol and stress levels. And this is all impacting their gut health.
So what changes do we need to start making? And then you also said we need to be strategic about, the medical advice that we get.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I will say with seeing hundreds and hundreds of women with autoimmune diseases and in perimenopause, we need to work on our stress. And that means our cortisol levels, because everyone is driving their kids to soccer team practice, travel sports. They might have parents that are aging. They might be working. They are juggling it all and burning their candle at both ends. And then this affects their sleep. They're not getting enough sleep. And then ultimately that hurts their gut health. So number one, I would focus on reducing stress and then also making sure you are hitting the hay and getting high quality sleep.
Which is very difficult. I mean, a lot of times that does mean getting your hormones in balance, because the very thing that's keeping us in flux all the time is also keeping us from getting a good night's sleep.
Yes, absolutely. As we age, progesterone declines, and progesterone is our hormone that really helps us sleep and calms us down. So we'll see women during that second half of their cycle called the luteal phase, they are tossing and turning and not getting good sleep. So there's certain things to do like supplements or bioidentical progesterone that they can take during that second half of their cycle and support that progesterone, which is declining as we age.
What are some of the supplements that could help?
Chase tree berry is great, and I will have my patients in early menopause really respond well to chase tree berry, or Vitex it's called, and they can take that throughout their cycle. I also really like magnesium for patients that are having trouble sleeping, and also helps detoxify and work with that also, and a little bit with their gut health if they're constipated. So all that is really helpful for them.
We really try to drive home the message to women here on Bloom how important it is to build muscles, not just to look good, but for their bone health and for their overall health in general. And it really does help with hormones as well.
Absolutely, it does. And when we look at muscle, not only is it a longevity organ, it really helps with our insulin balance. As we age, we start to gain weight for no reason because we become more insulin resistant. And that can ultimately lead to diabetes, which is not good. So muscle can be a buffer for that, and it's really helpful for women. And I challenge women, lift heavy weights just 3 days a week to start. And I don't know about you, but I check out women's muscles now. Like, I will tell them, I'll be like, you have great muscle tone. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I literally just turned 59, and I will tell you that you can develop muscles as you age. I feel like I'm in better shape today than I was 20 years ago, and you don't bulk up, and it's just a great way to feel more alive and more of an active ager. How does peptides play into all of this?
There are great ways to use peptides. What we want to do is focus on muscle, like you said, and like you're doing really well. We now know that everyone is looking at either being on a GLP-1, like semaglutide or tirzepatide, or they've tried it. So what we want to do is, that's okay to use those, but make sure we're using low dosing, and we're also eating enough protein and lifting weights. That is a non-negotiable. If you are on a peptide, you cannot lose that muscle. You need to make sure you are focusing on maintaining that muscle while losing weight, and really shifting body composition is the key.
And, you know, we did have a specialist come on our show and talk about the GLP-1s. Staying on that low dose actually reduces the inflammation, but to your point, it needs to be titrated properly. That way you can continue to build the muscles and enjoy your foods, because you need to get the protein in.
Absolutely. And one thing I've been doing with my women in perimenopause is just using a GLP-1 low dose during that second half of the cycle, or the luteal phase, where they are more insulin resistant, they are getting more cravings, and just using it those 2 weeks out of the month gives their body that little rest that they might need from being on that peptide, and also benefits them. So that's one thing I've been doing in my clinic.
Very informative. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.